The middle class is screwed. This should not have happened. The cost of living lately has been rising so fast that the middle class has been shrinking. But this plan is going to entirely crush the middle class. Even if you spend your entire life paying payroll taxes, you're not going to receive your Social Security benefits. I know that this sounds like an exaggeration, but the national debt has grown so big that the US government right now is forced to sacrifice the Social Security Trust Fund to continue making the interest payment on that national debt. And if you think that's an exaggeration, watch this video till the end and you will be convinced. So if you're ready, give this video a thumbs up and let's get right into it. The Social Security Trust Fund receives money from taxes and makes the payments to the retirees. And those payments must be indexed every single year based on inflation. There is something called COLA, the cost of living. The higher the inflation is, the higher will be the cost of living. And if those dollars are not adjusted every single year based on inflation, then those payments will worth nothing. And every single dollar that it receives from taxes must be invested in the US Treasuries. This is the only investment that the Social Security Trust Fund can possibly make. This is not the best investment in the market. You can make far better investments. Last year, for example, the S&P 500 grown by about 18%, while the US yields were about 4%. So clearly, it would be far better if the trust fund has invested in the stock market. But because it's a trust fund and it must ensure that it's investing in the safest investment possible and it's very liquid, it means that it can easily sell those investments in case if it needs that. That's why it can be investing in the stock market. Yes, the stock market usually does far better than the yields on the US Treasuries, but it's a risky investment. What if the market goes down? What if there is a crisis? You can easily sell those investments. But if you're investing in the US Treasuries, you know for a fact that you're receiving your exact yields. And secondly, in case if you need to sell those investments, you can easily do that. You can't tell to the retirees that you will not be receiving your Social Security benefits just because the market is down and we can't be selling those investments. While this system is not ideal, it works only because the yields on the US Treasuries will always be higher than their cost of living or cost of inflation. If the US Treasury yields are about 5%, while the COLA is about 3%, then the Social Security Trust Fund is receiving more money from those yields than it's adjusting based on the cost of living or inflation. The only way that this system will not work is if the system is flipped. If inflation is 5%, while you're receiving 3% on your yields, then you have to increase the Social Security payments by 5% while your income from those yields are going down. Ideally, that should never happen because investors will always require a higher yield on the US Treasuries than inflation. If inflation is 3%, then investors are not going to invest in the US Treasuries if the US government is not going to offer a rate that is higher than 3%, at least 4%, because you want your money to continue growing. But what if we artificially lower down the yield on the US Treasuries? Theoretically, this should not happen, but this is exactly what is happening. The Federal Reserve has already started the quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is the Federal Reserve printing money and buying the US Treasuries to artificially bring down the yields on the US Treasuries. And that means that the Social Security will start receiving a lot less from their investments. On the other side, quantitative easing increases the supply of money, which means that it is going to increase inflation, which means that it is going to increase the cost of living. So we are headed into a situation where the cost of living is going to rise while the income on the US Treasuries are going to fall. And that already happened last year. Inflation last year is going to be about 2.7 to 3%. We still don't have the final numbers, but it's going to be around that. While the return on investment that the Social Security Trust Fund made from their investments is about 2.6%. So artificially lowering down the US Treasury yields is going to destroy the Social Security Trust Fund. That is not going to happen overnight because the trust fund has about $2.7 trillion in asset. But if that is going to become a trend, then for a fact it is going to run out of money. You don't have to be a genius to understand that if your expenses are rising while your income is falling down, over time you will find yourself in a situation where you will be spending far more than you're earning, and it's a matter of time before you will go bankrupt. Historically, the Social Security Trust Fund never faced anything like that. Because if you go back to 1960s and 70s, the US Treasuries offered a very high yield. Even though that inflation time to time, especially in 1970s, were extremely high, the yields offered a very high return because the interest rates were extremely high. And back in the days, the Federal Reserve did not have something called quantitative easing. So if the Federal Reserve increased the interest rates to about 12%, the yields on the US debt would be around 12%. And that's how the Social Security Trust Fund over time generated a lot of money by investing in the US Treasuries. Starting after the 2008 financial crisis, the interest rates or the effective interest rates were extremely low. But during this period, inflation was also extremely low. So while the Social Security Trust Fund did not make or generate a lot of money from their investments, it didn't adjust its payments to the retirees because the cost of living wasn't actually rising at all. Some of these years, inflation or the cost of living was literally 0%. And for the first time ever, starting from 2025, we're entering into a completely new era. An era where interest rates are going to be very low, and there is also going to be quantitative easing, which means that the yields are going to be very low moving forward. At the same time, there is going to be high inflation. We already have high inflation, and inflation is not fixed yet. And if you start quantitative easing, it is not a surprise that inflation will get out of control. Even if it does not rise to 4 or 5% and it stays at around 3%, while the yields on the US Treasuries will go down below 3%, then mathematically you will still go out of business. But historically, we have already seen that massive quantitative easing rises inflation way above 3%. But if we know that is a problem, why would we do that? Why would the government do something like that and purposely destroy the Social Security Trust Fund? Just a moment. I have recently launched the Investing Academy, where you can learn step by step to start investing, even if you know nothing about investing. And it's also a community of people, of like-minded people who are also starting investing and want to achieve financial freedom. So if you want to access the entire course for free and meet like-minded people, you can do that by checking the first link in the description of this video. Now, this community is going to become a paid community very soon. So if you want to join while it's free, then use the first link in the description. And now let's get back to the video. The US national debt is about to cross $40 trillion this year. So a single percentage in interest payment is $400 billion. And that number is exponentially rising. By the end of the year or next year, it will cross $50 trillion. So a single percentage in interest payments will be $500 billion. So if the government is making 3% in interest payment, that's $1.5 trillion. If the yields rise to 4%, that's $2 trillion. If they rise to 5%, that's about $2.5 trillion. And tax revenues are obviously not rising that fast. So either the government is going to allocate half of its budget into interest payments, if not the entire budget, or they have to artificially bring down the yields on the US Treasuries. But if you bring down the yields on the US Treasuries, you are destroying the Social Security Trust Fund. And based on this trend, it seems like the government has already decided that it's going to sacrifice the Social Security Trust Fund. But the trust fund has $2.7 trillion in assets. Isn't that enough? Well, since 1960s and 70s, the trust fund has been generating a lot of assets, especially when back in the days, the yields on the US Treasuries were extremely high, and the trust fund enormously benefited out of that. But those $2.7 trillion are going to go to zero in the next 3 to 4 years. Best case scenario, it will last until 2034, but is very unlikely. That sounds like an exaggeration, but think about it for a moment. Last year, the Social Security Trust Fund had to make payments of about $1.47 trillion. That's a lot of money. How much do you think the trust fund generated from payroll taxes? Only about $1.3 trillion. So where did the trust fund get the rest of the money? Well, first of all, it generated $55 billion from taxes on the Social Security benefits. First of all, you're paying taxes to receive Social Security benefits when you retire, but then when you receive those benefits, you're still paying taxes on those benefits to begin with. It doesn't make sense. The government is taxing you way more than it's supposed, but that's the system that we have. It also received $69 billion in interest payments from that $2.7 trillion investment that it made. So if it wasn't for these two incomes, then the Social Security Trust Fund would already start selling its $2.7 trillion portfolio to close this gap. But here's the problem. The big beautiful bill that Donald Trump has passed eliminates the taxes on Social Security payments, which means that this year, this $55 billion from Social Security taxes is not happening. So you automatically can see that the Social Security Trust Fund is already in trouble. Secondly, since the yields are going down because of quantitative easing, this $69 billion is going to go down. It can go to as low as $55, $45 billion, or even $30 billion. Depends on how much quantitative easing the Federal Reserve is going to do. So this year, the Fed will for a fact have to sell some of its assets to close that gap. And if you look at the projections for 2030, which is literally a few years from now, the Social Security Trust Fund will generate $1.7 trillion, while its expenses are going to be as high as $2.3 trillion. There will be a gap of $500 billion by 2030. The question is, where will the fund get $500 billion to close that gap? Obviously, it will start selling its assets of about $2.7 trillion to close that gap. But by 2030, it's no longer going to be $2.7 trillion. It might be $2 trillion or less than $2 trillion. And when your expenses are rising to $500 billion, and 2031, the gap will be probably $600 to $700 billion, you can easily see how those $2.7 trillion will run out very quickly. And then, what will the Social Security Trust Fund do after that? There are a few options. To fix this problem, you can simply increase the number of people who are paying taxes. You can do that by increasing the birth rates. Birth rates are falling dramatically and have been for the past 30 to 40 years. And fixing birth rates is not easy. It will take decades for the government to do that. You can't simply force people to bring babies into the world. The second way that you can fix this problem is through migration. But the United States right now is having a policy of no immigration at all, which means that the trust fund is not going to receive a lot more than it's receiving already right now. So the only option that is left in front of Social Security is to cut the number of people who are receiving the payments. And it's going to hurt the middle class and the poor people the most, because these are the people who rely on Social Security the most. The rich people don't care much. By the time they retire, they have enough investments in their portfolio that will replace their income. They are financially independent. But if you live paycheck to paycheck, by the time you retire, you need those Social Security benefits. You also spend your entire life paying payroll taxes. You deserve those Social Security benefits. But unfortunately, the system is collapsing, and mathematically, it cannot possibly last that long. I'll see you in the next one.